Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. It is a nice 30-something degree morning here in the central part of North Carolina. Probably about 40 by now. Sun's on me. And I did not dress appropriately for this cold weather to feed the pigs, so I'm gonna get that done. Then we're gonna do a little walk and talk, show and tell. I used to love show and tell when I was in kindergarten. I'll tell you a little story about that as we get going. But guys, we appreciate you stopping in here at the Piney Woods. Hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. It's Matthew here at the Piney Woods Homestead, guys. If you have tried our Piney Woodsman Beard Balm, you're going to be thrilled over this. We've come up with a new flavor, as we call them around here, guys. Deer stand, that's what it's called. It's going to remind you of deer hunting in the fall. The smell of fresh leaves falling, the smell of fresh dirt being turned over, the smell of that crisp morning air as you're climbing up into the deer stand, freezing your tail off. Guys, you're going to love Deer Stand from Piney Woodsman. So y'all, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I was going to tell you a little something about show and tell. And what I was referring to is when I was a kid in kindergarten, we'd have show and tell once a week. I think that some people would bring like a live chicken every now and then, and people would bring something they got for Christmas. One time, I took something that I just loved. I loved the Lone Ranger way back then. And so I took my 6-shooters, my silver ivory handled cap guns to school to show off. Can you imagine today if you let your kid take their cap guns to school, what would happen? Just think about it. Y'all, times have changed. All right, these hungry pigs are fed. Y'all, they're looking fantastic. We finally got some rain, thank God, because y'all, it was dry as a bone. And the ground, even though the trees aren't taking up any water right now, the ground is taking it pretty good. So it's not really a muddy mess. Even down here in the bottom, we had like 2.5 inches, y'all. A lot of it was runoff. Thunder and lightning. I actually got stuck up in the deer stand. I texted Lisa and I said, come and get me before the lightning does. And about the time I hear the gator coming, out walks a nice buck right where I'm at. But I was not dealing with that in the pouring down rain and the lightning. So I waited till the next morning, and now I've got deer meat in the refrigerator in a meat lug. I need to go get trimmed up and put in the freezer, but thank God for that. But y'all, I'm on hunt this morning. Every year, this time of the year, right after Thanksgiving, I start looking around for the perfect little eastern red cedar for a Christmas tree. Last year, it was one that I actually dug up. We potted and we planted it up there at the cabin that we're still building. But this year, we're going to put a bigger one on the front porch. Not going to put one in the house. We have a small house, y'all, 1,000 square feet or so, and now with the kittens in there, we really don't want them climbing it. So we're going to put one on the porch. We can actually see it through the windows and look at it. It'll still be pretty, and we won't have the mess in the house. So that's what we're doing, walking around looking for a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Y'all, one thing you learn from growing up doing stuff out in the woods, whether it's deer hunting or just camping, hiking, stuff like that, is you learn how to pick up on game trails. And I don't know if the camera really picks it up good, but you can tell along the edge of this creek, the creek is probably, good gracious, it's 40 foot down the hill here, and there's barely any water in it, even though we had 2.5 inches of rain. And y'all, I've seen this thing 20 feet deep of water, but you can see the game trails, and that is a good skill to have. Not only if you're hiking in the woods and you get lost, you can kind of retrace your steps, you look at the leaves that are turned over, but there's all kinds of benefits to knowing how to follow a path. And I guess probably that's a great metaphor for life, really, y'all, is know how to follow a path. What is your path? What path are you following? Y'all know which one I'm following. So I'm really looking for that pretty little cedar tree, and there's quite a few out here. along this creek bottom, but I'm not even sure that we'll use that. May use a holly tree. I don't know, I like those too. Doesn't really matter to us as long as it's something that we can put lights on. But y'all, I do believe I have found my tree really quick. And this thing's about 20 feet tall. It's Eastern Red Cedar. And I don't need it that tall, but this is a old fence line back behind where the pigs are that I've been wanting to clean up so I can get the tractor down through here a little easier to bush hog. And that's one plan that I have for this winter, is to come in here with the excavator anyways, clean up a bunch of brush, and just make it easier to get the tractor back here and things like that. So this tree's gonna work out great. I'll probably cut that thing down one day this week, and we'll get it put on the front porch, show you that. But y'all, mostly what I wanted to talk about today is knowing when to quit. And what I mean by that is, yesterday, Lisa and I were finishing up, actually the past 2 days, our last flock of meat birds for the year. And between all of the meat birds that we have grown out this year, processed, as well as hens and older roosters that we have processed, I think we figured it up to about 140 birds that we have cleaned this year. Cleaned and butchered, turned into chicken patties, individual cuts. That's a lot of work for 2 people, y'all. And kind of what brought this on was the other day I was loading up the last 15 meat chickens. I put them in a large tote that's drilled for ventilation around the top. I can fit about 15 birds in there, keeps them just fine, safe, got a lid on it. And I put it in the back of Lisa's garden cart in order to take them over to the cones that we use to put the birds in to take care of all that. And y'all, I was pretty much fatigued, and it's because my strength isn't back yet, but it's getting there, guys. I went to sit it in there, and I didn't have it all the way in, and it was like stepping on the end of a metal garden rake, a landscape rake. The front of that thing came up, and the metal handlebars caught me right there on the brow. And it almost knocked me out, y'all. It puffed up just a little bit, turned black for just a little while, and it was gone. I guess my head is a whole lot harder than I realized. But I told Lisa after that, you know, I'm kind of pouting. I sit down and I said, give me a bottle of water. I need something to drink. I sit down and I said, we ain't going to be able to do this forever. And that is true, y'all. We will not be able to live this way forever. As far as handling so many processings, whether that's chickens, pigs, deer, or even huge, large gardens. One day there will come a time when we need to downsize. Until that happens though, y'all, we will continue to do exactly what we're doing. We will live exactly the way that we are as long as the Lord allows, we have the strength to do it. Right now, we are down to 20 laying hens. Y'all, we had about 40. Down to 20 laying hens, and we are not going to have any more than that. That gives us enough to keep the farm shop supplied when that's open seasonally, as long as the eggs, as well as the eggs that Lisa sells to a few neighbors, some family, and whoever else is local that wants some. They send her a message, they pick them up, that kind of thing. But y'all, we're downsizing. We are downsizing critters. We're done with downsizing on chickens. We'll still raise meat birds. We had this idea, everything went so good this year with the farm market in spring especially. We're gonna grow way more chickens next year. Well, after having been sick, processing that many birds, getting whacked in the head, I told her, I said, no, we're not, because our goal has never been to get big. Our goal has always been to be self-sustainable, not to get so big, just trying to produce more to bring in more dollars. That's just not what we want to do, y'all. We are all about just being thankful for what we have, keeping things going. We got enough food for us, enough food for family, enough food to help a few folks out that are local that are wanting some good wholesome food. We're not in production. And y'all, it's the same way with the firewood, and I'm going to show you something up here. We're walking by all those logs that I brought in the other day. I ended up with 12 dump trailer loads. I've got a 7x12 dump trailer, and y'all, I stack it high. It's got 12,000 pounds. It's got 6,000 pound axles under it. I can haul quite a bit of weight on it safely and legally. So I brought in 12 loads, y'all. But I want to show you our wood bunks right now. We had 10 cord in here split. Y'all, every bit of it's gone. The only wood that we have left for this winter is some barbecue wood that we've been selling. There's a little bit here in this bunk. There's about 3/4 of a cord in that bunk. And we still have some firewood that we're splitting, because all of these poles right here, y'all, they've been seasoned for a year and a half and they're ready to be split. But we have retained it for one customer that said, I want this much every month. And so we're done really for the most part for 2023 with firewood, other than we've got to split all of this wood that's decked up over here. But 10 cord bunks what we had, plus we filled them back up really about halfway again. So I think we hit about 15 cord going out this year so far. And so by the time we get done with what we have, it'll be close to 20. And that's really kind of where we want to be at as far as what we are physically able to do. Because remember, when spring gets here, it's all gardening. There is very little time for doing firewood after the winter's over for us, because Lisa's busy growing all the food around here, y'all. And I'm busy with the excavator, hopefully off the homestead doing jobs. And I will, buck stuff and whatnot. But y'all, there's a lot of wood in here, a whole lot of wood. The Lord has blessed us with a whole lot of wood. Y'all, I know that we are a few days past Thanksgiving, but there's something I want you to do. I want you to put in the comment section, what are you thankful for? What are you guys thankful for? Put it in the comments. We would love to read it. I realize this has been a walk and talk, rambling kind of video, and those of you that actually follow us will enjoy this, and we'll watch every bit of it. Some folks will just click on, click off, because maybe the thumbnail and the title says, oh my gosh, I need to look at that. I don't know how it works, y'all. Sometimes there's stuff I click on and I'm like, I'm not interested in this, and that's fine too. But anyways, I want to talk about hitting 2,000. We may have hit it by the time this video comes out in a couple of days. Y'all, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a little contest for that giveaway. You'll have to do something in the comments. We're not sure exactly how we're going to do it yet. We're not exactly sure what we're going to give away yet. So you'll have to stay tuned to see what that is. It'll be something nice, y'all. Something that you will benefit from. Because y'all, we benefit from you watching. Guys, I got to go make some homemade chicken stock. Wasn't going to do it today. I wanted to rest. And I still may not. Who knows, y'all? Sometimes you just got to turn everything off and take a break. And so that may be what happens today. We'll see. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. And Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high. We'll see you on the next one.